This is GamesAtWork.biz, your weekly podcast about gaming, technology, and play. Your hosts are Michael Martin, Andy Piper, and Michael Rowe. The thoughts and opinions on this podcast are those of the hosts and guests alone and are not the opinions of any organization which they have been, are, or may be affiliated with.
This is episode 518. The old ones are the best. Hello, welcome again to GamesAtWork.biz, your weekly technology podcast. My name is Andy Piper, and I'm excited to be back talking about what's new in the world of tech, in the world of games, in the world of work, occasionally, if we have to do that stuff as well. And with me are my friends Michael and Michael. I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Michael Rowe. First of all, how are you, sir?
Hey, Andy. I am well. I'm glad to also be back and talk about the world of Warcraft. No, we're not talking World of Warcraft. But Michael, how are you?
In a world where we talk about Warcraft, I'm doing great. Thank you, Michael.
I will say on World of Warcraft that you would be very disappointed with me because World of Warcraft was the answer to a quiz question on Monday night, and I got it wrong.
Oh no! What was the question though?
It was a picture question. It was the panda character from World of Warcraft, whose name escapes me already.
Pandemodium.
I said Tekken instead of World of Warcraft. So
yeah. Well, I spelled Fortnite incorrectly recently too, so I had to go and fix that. So,
GHT instead of ITE.
FOR, something, I don't know.
I think we should all just resign our roles as
Yes, we can no longer talk games.
podcasters.
Lost all cred there whatsoever.
Again,
all right, so let's try to regain a teensy bit of cred if we can.
I mean, we should have, because the title of the episode lines up with the three of us. So yeah, let's crack on.
All right, so how many people want to create an Atari game? What were they saying? Tarzan, they have others, and creating these randomly generated games, and then being able to play them. This would be a lot of fun. And the fact that they were saying, the reason that you can do this sort of thing is that generating a game is not as difficult as all that because they had to fit in 4K. Remember having to fit an entire program in 4K?
I had a machine that the entire machine was 2K, so yeah.
I mean, this is essentially a random noise generator, and eventually, like the monkeys typing out the works of Shakespeare, you get a bit of code that's executable on the Atari 2600. It's brilliant.
Well, to the other point of, as you said, Michael, the 4K. If you think about the number of tokens used in LLMs, that fits within a simple token request. You're not going to burn a lot to do that, and you got billions of those running every second, right?
Yeah,
lots of monkeys.
Yeah. I mean, I just the Tandy, what was it? The Tandy color computer
Coco
was
2?
One that I regularly ran out of memory because I used every last little bit in order to write the programs that I had on that machine.
I wanted a Coco 2 bad.
I feel like we should talk actually about what this story is.
Yes.
So the link we've got in the show notes is from Hackaday, and it talks about this particular project. If you click through from the Hackaday story, which gives you the summary, to the GitHub project, Finite Atari Machine, the process is quite interesting. So they generate 30 billion individual 4K files of random data. They then use some heuristics based on the complete collection of all of the Atari ROM games that there are down. So they managed to winnow the 30 billion down to 10,000. Wow. Then they scan through them using an Atari 2600 emulator to see if any of them actually work. And
they got a few?
They got a few. And they're not that good. They're not like games that make sense. But you can sort of click on them in the emulator built into the website, and you can try these things, and usually you get the ability for, some pixels to be moved around the screen or something. But it goes into some detail about how they actually did this.
So cool.
And Yeah, it is pretty fun. It is pretty fun, I think. As I think the Hackaday article says, they're more like demos, really, of just, the kinds of things you might get randomly generated, funnily enough. But I did think it was quite beautiful. And they're talking about potentially trying the NES or Game Boy, but obviously they're much more complex systems and it would take a lot longer. Whereas the Atari 2600, as this article says, it is astonishingly stupid. It boots straight into ROM with 0 safeguards.
Well, that machine apparently launched in 1977 is a scant 47 years ago.
Scant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the company was 74, if I remember correctly, when Atari was founded.
Yeah, maybe so. So the next article is talking about how the 2600. I still can't believe it's 50 years.
Yeah.
That a machine like that, and the fact that you can still get them that actually work still is quite good. So this futurism article here is entitled "How ChatGPT is absolutely wrecked at chess."
By an Atari 2600.
Exactly.
Yes.
From 1977.
With its whopping 4K of code.
I mean, to be fair, this is not randomly written code, though. This is code that was written with the intent of being able to play chess.
Well, it just shows you, a couple of things, right? One is the context of the LLM, right? Understanding context and remembering things over a long period of time, which a chess match, even one that only looks 3 steps ahead, does a better job than the way the random number the LLM can generate moves.
I mean, I love the way that this came about. Did you read this paragraph in the article here? So ChatGPT got absolutely wrecked on the beginner level, yep. Caruso wrote. This was after a conversation we had regarding the history of AI in chess, which led to it volunteering to play Atari chess.
And then it keeps...
It wanted to find out how quickly it could beat a game that only thinks 1 to 2 moves ahead.
Yeah.
I just think the fact that the ChatGPT itself... decided it was going to show off how great it was at chess.
I'm trying to find,
and then failed.
I'm trying to find the line in there. Was it in this or was it one of the follow-on things that I read about where it kept saying let's oh yeah, here it is, and as it kept losing, it kept going. It would win if. Can we just start again?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the comments in the LinkedIn article are great. Like, there's one by a guy named Stefan Mazur who says, "I'm a bit flubbergasted," which I kind of like that, the flubber reference. Playing chess with ChatGPT is like trying to repair your car with a jackhammer, he writes.
So this is going to be beautiful on an audio podcast, but this is, you probably can't read it. But this is a little...
Not only can we not read it, our audience can't see it, but
so this is a small...
Tell us what it is.
Hold it up more. Hold it up more.
I was getting there.
Turn it around.
No. So
Warner... It says Warner on the first word.
So it says Warner Robins Chess Tournament Preteen Division First Place. This is my little chess tournament trophy, but only one I ever got. And
it's about a 6-inch tall little.
Oh, it's not even that. It's probably about 4.5 or 5. But anyway, the funny thing about this was I really liked playing chess at that time in my life, and I was in a tournament, and in one of the matches, I did the 3 or 4 move checkmate.
Oh,
right. So this is timed with the little stoppers, the clocks, and everything.
Oh yeah.
And the people watching said, "You can't do that," and made us play again. And I did it again to this person on the other side of the table 2 times in a row.
The poor opponent.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
and so they were one of these. They could win if we would just do it again. So I thought that was so perfect in this story.
All right, next one up, we have a little post here from David Gerard, I guess is who it is, who shares a little bit of an article about how ChatGPT went down. And the post continues, and fake jobs grind to a halt worldwide. So
it's actually a link to a blog post of theirs.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
So
with all the people that are doing multiple jobs by just using an LLM to get their work done, and it's good enough. I thought this was so hilarious when I saw this one come across the pipe in the feeds. So,
well, I mean, it's the point here is a pyramid of different apps that all depend on ChatGPT, right? So once ChatGPT goes down for whatever reason, then you've got all of these other things that are making fake work on top of it, also failing to work for the period of time that ChatGPT is down.
So all the vibe coders who can't code anymore because they don't know how to actually code.
Yeah, that's there. Well, let's switch gears from the software to the hardware here for a minute. And Michael, this has got you written all over it. The Emotiv company has been around. Here's another thing for nearly 20 years. Is that right? Did I read that there somewhere? And they have some new capabilities out. So tell us about it.
So for almost 20 years now, I've known and early on worked with Tan Lee, who's the CEO of Emotiv, and they started off by doing let me see, I think I still have it. Again, a wonderful thing for a audio podcast.
Look how cool. Oh my gosh.
So this is a giant box. It's probably 8 inches cubed, give or take.
It's a black box.
And it is
has red on it.
The Emotiv headset. Yeah. And so the Emotiv headset had 12 or 20 different sensors, and it connected up via Bluetooth and allowed you to do brainwave reading. And the idea that they originally worked on was to use it to cut the cost dramatically of doing brain research. And they were working at the time with the gaming industry, trying to integrate it with games. And they had a Harry Potter game where you would think fireball, and a fireball would shoot out of your character on screen, and you would think lightning, and etc. And then they realized that it wasn't going to make it in the gaming industry, and so that was a Kickstarter. But it really worked well for low-end research. And after, I think it was about 4 years later, they came out with their Emotiv Insight, which had only 3 pickups, and I have a picture of me wearing it, and I have one of these too, where it looks for emotional context in your brainwaves and your thoughts. And the idea was to help people focus. So while you're wearing this, while you're working, you would wear this device, and it would track how well you're focusing on tasks. And so what they've finally done is they've taken that down to a set of noise-canceling earbuds to do the exact same thing. So they just kicked off the Kickstarter about a week ago, and the Kickstarter price is going to be around $300 for these earbuds that are noise canceling, that have multiple EEG measurements that are taking place to do focus and, as they call it, brain health. I thought this was really cool that they're continuing down this path. It also aligns with a lot of rumors that we hear from various other noise canceling headphones having cameras in them and heart monitors and all this other stuff. But Emotiv is actually taking it out to market via Kickstarter. I thought this was cool.
Yeah, I liked it too. The one thing that kind of made me smile when I was reading through this was the whole idea of micro breaks.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to get a micro break right about when I go to sleep at night. There's always something else that's going on. Yep. And I recall being in Cupertino right after the Apple Watch was announced, and it was so funny to watch everybody stand up in a meeting room with 10 minutes to go to the hour because their watch told them to do so. So should these become super highly, popular in various places, I kind of wonder if the micro breaks might get aligned in some way or another that would have a similar result.
I want to say that the co-founder and CTO of Emotiv bears a startling resemblance to Michael Rowe.
I noticed that too. Right?
No, I wish. Yeah. The other interesting thing is back when I first met them, and you can see in the Kickstarter, you see the Insight they call the MW20 in the one video, but the designer of this that they worked with originally on the original headset and on the Insight had also worked on the design for the movie Oh God, now I can't. What was the Tom Cruise with Future Crime?
Oh,
Minority Report.
Minority Report. So it had actually worked on Minority Report and some of the design for the UI elements.
Well, Michael Martin has picked out what I was trying to do at the same time and gone all the way back in our archives and found the original reference to Emotiv in the show there. So back in 2013, episode 37.
Was that the insight?
I just as I came to paste it in myself, he's got it in the notes there. So I think that was when Phaedra was on the show with you guys. So
I'm trying to remember though. Was that the insight reference or the original headset?
You'll have to go listen to it and see, and it's probably you getting it at first, because I actually got one as well. I didn't use it that much, and I still have it, but it's in a box around here somewhere. I didn't keep the original box though.
The big black one, not the white one. Cool.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
so we were just talking there about movies and things, and
yes,
we're still in the kind of the AI section here a little bit, but Ian posted a little snippet of what he's been doing with the new Midjourney video generation. I had an email from Midjourney because I use that one as well, telling me about this being available. But Ian had a ready to run test, so he threw in Roshin from his
two-part trilogy
and two-part trilogy exactly. And
we're still waiting for book 3.
And it's got he's got his little animation, but you guys both noticed much quicker than I did the slight mistake in this animation, in this video generation.
But I think it's a great improvement over the last one you did. 2 years ago? I think when you did it before, the same video generation.
I'm going back to look at the generation he did last time, because this isn't it. Didn't. Oh, he did have it. Yes, that's right. We're using Runway ML, so he did have it in there as well. Yeah. But did the original one have fingers or not? No, didn't actually get to typing in the previous one. It just kind of turned its head towards you. Whereas this time it starts to type and it emerges it only has half a finger. So that's a bit alarming.
But still cool.
And really cool. Yeah, for 4 seconds worth of video, on a free account, just amazing.
But the hair movement, the facial structure, it's still impressive as can be, right?
The movie's going to be amazing.
I can't wait.
About 4 seconds of video generation every day is going to take how long to generate the whole movie of Reconfigured, do we think?
Well, that might be one of those cases where you might want to spring for a paid account. Maybe
he might have the third book out by the time that the movie's finished generating,
and then he'll hire Peter Jackson and it'll be a 12-hour movie.
We're just teasing Ian.
Yeah, we love you.
There we go.
Speaking of things that we love, Michael, you found something on The Verge that convinced me to buy it.
Yeah, so. I was surprised. I was like, "Wow, you bought it immediately."
I did I was as well. I was like, okay, that's a cute little tchotchke, but Michael's gone and bought it.
Yeah.
Well, I never had one of these iMacs, right? Yeah. So the G3s with the wonderful colors on them, the tangerine and everything. I always wanted one, and I always thought they were really cool. And my watch stand, if you will, is the watch on my nightstand. So it's like, okay.
So you do know that this is not like a miniature iMac, it's just a piece of plastic, right?
Well, once I put my watch on it, it's going to be a full-fledged computer.
It'll be a miniature piece of plastic with a watch on it. I guess. I did think it was cool, and I can't wait to see it once you get it, because it is going to be cool looking. And you'll finally be able to do nightstand mode while it's charging overnight, and you can have a little watch.
No, I do that anyway. What I do is I tilt my watch on its side, and it's on its nightstand mode.
There you
go.
Well done.
I am clever that way. Speaking of clever,
yes.
Michael, you've spent the last week getting yourself uplifted and upgraded on your cleverness, and there's a 6 colors article here about visionOS 26 that you probably have a point or two that you want to share.
Yeah, it's amazing how far you can advance the platform when you go from version 2 to version 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.6 times.
And we did a quick demo, and I caught all appropriate grief from my wonderful co-hosts of the new visionOS personas. I find them to be just head and shoulders above the original one.
So reminding the folks listening who are most generally unlikely to have a Vision Pro, I'm guessing.
Yes.
The personas is where when you're wearing the Vision Pro, then and you take part in a video call or some kind of video content, the other parties see your face generated by Apple with some level of
fidelity.
And it's tracking the eyes of the person, but the rest of it's all made up.
And it's more than that, because it also tracks your hands, and your hands are rendered in the world too. The other thing that's interesting about it was the very first. I actually found a picture, and I put it in a blog post of mine. A picture that I took of my very first persona, and when you compare the two, it looks like an old Dutch master painting versus a fairly new picture, right? But what they did is, with no hardware updates, just software only, they completely redid how they render the original model. It still has issues for people who have heavy beards. Their mouths don't open, and so they look like Mumble Man. But
when we were talking at the beginning before we started recording, you put it on or you went off and did something, and there was a point where you came back with no mouth. Just so you know.
Well, no, that happens when you drink. When you drink, you get this little cloud in front of your face because there's something.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was in that case. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay. No. The other one, if you have a heavy beard, what happens is they see your lips and your beard, and you talk, but the mouth doesn't open. Right. But so the interesting thing is, in all honesty, what they've done, I feel, has once again pushed the Vision Pro to a much more enterprise-capable piece of hardware. It's still a dev kit. I mean, don't fool yourself. So this is not a consumer product, and at this price probably will never be a consumer product. But if they can come out with newer versions that cost less, they might get closer there. And as Andy's experimenting with glasses, that's probably the platform you want to get to ultimately. But what they've done is they've done a lot of work on co-location behavior. So if two people are sitting in a room together, both wearing those, you can interact with a object in real time. So think of it from a designer perspective in automotive. And Michael, you and I talked about, again, 15, 18 years ago, how would you do training of how to do car repairs, right?
Yep.
So they've taken the step, and they've gone down the path to dramatically improve the ability for multiple people to work together and see the thing naturally together and to interact with each other in a more natural way. And the other thing that they've done, and that's why I kind of demonstrated to my co-hosts here, is the fixed placement now of persistent objects. So I was looking around in my room here at home with posters on the wall that were actually widgets and clocks and other things that if I take my Vision Pro off, reboot it, whatever, put it back on, they are still in those same places and locations. And because of the widget architecture that Apple did over the last 5 years, I also have duplicates of some of those widgets in other rooms of my house, like a weather widget or a clock widget, and it stays down there too. And so originally, and this was really freaky, originally, if you place one in another room and walked to a different room in the house with your Vision Pro on and looked towards that other room, you would see it floating off in the distance, like you were looking X-ray through walls, and you would see that thing floating there. But if you rebooted or took the Vision Pro off and put it back on, everything reset. So there was no persistency. And so from an enterprise perspective, again, the ability to work together in a persistent virtual space, I think, is getting them closer and closer to something that might have utility beyond a dev kit.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the Dutch Master picture of you that was generated by AI now, Michael. I can't find it, but I'll look for it later.
I'll give you my blog link that has it.
Yeah, because I know we had it on the show at one point here too, and that was just super fun. All right, so moving right along, as we say, we have from Creative Bloq, the Nex Playground, a device for playing games that seem to have some origin with the basketball shot tracking game from times gone by. And I saw that here somewhere, and I'm missing where it was. But anyway, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah. So it refers to it growing out of Apple's Homecourt's real-time shot tracker for basketball.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with that, possibly because basketball isn't as popular here, but I'm not 100% sure. The core team is from Apple, Google, and Meta that built this. So this is like a cube-shaped box, a little bit colorful. It's got a camera. It's got some AI motion detection going on with it. It's got some mocap stuff as well. So it's kind of back to the Kinect in the sense of the movement-based body tracking to do games. And the article here really refers to it as Apple-like in that it's very minimal looking. It's got very easy to navigate user interface. It's very easy to get set up and going. So apparently it's just 3 inches cube, a 3-inch cube, and it's meant to be, quite a fun game, quite a fun console with games. I was surprised that I hadn't come across it at all. It's just this one article that I've seen it in, but I certainly don't know how actively it's being promoted or how broadly it's being sold. It lists it with a UK price on the website here, but I think it kind of goes back to the original Wii and its intent and trying to appeal to that sort of same family group gaming, and I just love I'm curious and intrigued by finding these kind of new form factors and ways of trying to engage people with games.
I think you mentioned the Apple Homecourt real-time shot tracker. I think that was WWDC 2019, because I remember it on the large screen at the event, them talking about it. I think they got a design award for it. And I mean, it was really cool because they were trying to leverage ARKit, and they were showing how you could, with just a couple of iPhones, do shot analysis in basketball. And this one company designed this app, and you would have a phone on a stand, like on one end, like underneath the backboard, and then it would pick up the players around it to do, like, if you're just shooting threes or trying to do free throw shots, etc. And it would actually, it was on the side because it was tracking the arc and everything else. It was actually really cool.
I've just been doing a bit more research here whilst you were talking and can't find it available outside of the US.
Yeah.
So it does look like it's probably a US only thing. But again, I'm always interested in different options for gaming. And my other immediate thought is how hackable is any of this stuff, because I'm also curious about those sorts of things. I'm guessing if it comes from that background of Apple engineers, got this Apple aesthetic, very kind of neat and closed design, it's probably not at all hackable, which is fine. I'm just a curious type.
Well, and linking it back to work too, this is where repeatable body movements that you might need to do in smaller enclosed spaces, or just being able to perform a particular task right and well, lends itself really well to this kind of thing. The basketball tracker could do so. Same thing here. I was also imagining the whole Wii Sports experiences, but that was not camera based. That was from the Wiimotes that you were using to control the bowling or the tennis racket or whatever else you were doing. So this is interesting to use the camera. And
I was reading something this week as well about repurposing Kinect camera sensor, which I think I've still got at least one or maybe both of from the last two the generations of Xbox sitting around somewhere at home. But yeah, I think that whole removal of the control mechanisms and just letting you track body movements is super interesting. The old ones are the best, as they say. Harkening back to the Wii there and the Kinect. But we've got a super old one to end on, haven't we?
We do. For the people that like Sega games, Michael, you found an article that said here's several you can go download for iOS or Android, and if you like it, go get them.
What's more important about it is Sega's discontinuing all the online stuff for these games, but so they made there's like 4 or 5 games. They made them all free. They used to be paid for the online stuff, but they've disabled all the online features. So it's all these old Sega games remastered for the iPad and iOS, and they're free now. So if you want to go back and play Crazy Taxi or more, they're there. And they're available for Android, too.
Crazy Taxi's...
And Android.
Crazy Taxi's fun, but I'm probably going to go with Golden Axe if I'm going to go get... Or Streets of Rage if I'm going to go and get one of these. But probably don't need to because I've got my Steam Deck and stuff. But yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, I think that puts us at time, doesn't it?
It does. Just in the nick of time, too. So we're in good shape for that. So, folks, you can find us again here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, same Adam West. And drop us a few links, and we'll include them on the next version of gamesatwork.biz. See you, everybody.
See ya.
You've been listening to gamesatwork.biz, the podcast about gaming technology and play. We are part of the Blueberry Podcasting Network, and would like to thank the band Random Encounters for their song, Big Blue. You can follow us at our website at gamesatwork.biz.